Hi guys, welcome back to the brand new video from Look Inside Politics. Today we're going to take a look at the electoral map based on the new polling data. I know it's been a really long time, 1.5 months I haven't posted any video because I'm really busy focusing on other projects about the election and other stuff. And we are going to take a look at the electoral map back today with some new polling data, and we're gonna use FiveThirtyEight for this time. We're gonna fill in the whole US map. The safe state fill in here with red and blue, and you can see, and except for some really safe Republican state, they are really likely but not literally safe. The first we are going to take a look is Montana. If we take a look at the poll in Montana, it should be a really likely state for Trump with 8.8%. But back in April, Trump has the lead with 20 points. But now the lead is no more existing because of a Biden bump in, and this state will be likely based on the polls. And also, if you check out in Kansas, also is a really close state with 7.7 points. But back in March 2020, it should be also very close with 8%. Not a big change, so also be a likely state. And also in Missouri, is always a close state. And in 2008, President Obama literally win this state. So I don't believe that Biden has much to win in the state of Missouri, but let's take a look at the polls. It's 5.7 points, but it should be closer in July. 2.5 points. It's a close race in Missouri with 6.4 now. The lead has bigger for Trump, and this would be also a likely state. Yes. If we also take a look at the state in the south, I can take a look at Mississippi. Also a 12-point lead. You can see it's a safe state or a likely state, but in this scenario, we'll give it a safe and a likely for Trump here. And we have Tennessee and South Carolina. In Tennessee, that state is a really solid state for Republican for a decade. The last time I think a Democrat win is in 1992, maybe 1996, when Al Gore was the vice president, and 13 for 6 point for Trump here. So that's why Trump has this safe Republican state lead districting right now. I'll still put the state in a safe margin for Trump because it's a 13-point lead, and Biden is nearly 0% of chances we get a state. And we can see of South Carolina, it's a 5.5 point lead for Trump here, 50 to 45. That's why it's pretty close in the South. I'll still put a state in a likely margin. And also we have Indiana. Indiana is a pretty solid state too in Indiana. A 12-point lead. I will still put it state in a likely margin. You can see many state Republican states in 2016 won by Trump now is being likely based on the polls. If we take a look at some Democratic state, we first make Alaska first. Alaska is also likely to a lean state. Some people said that Biden may have a chance to get it, but it's pretty close. I will still put it for Trump in a lean margin. And let's start with some Democratic state. The most competitive one in 2020 election should be Arizona. You can see all the way down from March to now October is pretty close with 3.7%. And Trump has lead Biden in March. I would still put a state in a lean margin with 3 points. And in Nevada and state in the western coast in Nevada. You can see at 6.8 points. It's a pretty steady lead for Biden right now. I would still put in the likely column. And also, I think it will be the same in Colorado. 11.8 yearly safe Biden. But in Mexico, let's check out Mexico. 13 point is pretty safe actually. It's literally safe, but it's still likely. And let's check out in Texas. It's a pretty close state in this election cycle. 1.7 point. Look at how close is it. Back in March it's 3.9, nearly 5 points, but now only 1.7 lead for Biden, for Trump. And I'll still put a state in a lead margin with literally 2 points because. And we have some state outlying right now. And in Nebraska, this state should be a likely state for Donald Trump here because the polls can show us. October 7th, this is a really recent poll, shows Biden up 11. That's why Trump really has no strategy here to win back all the counties and all the districts. And the first district will be lean. It's a bit weird, but the poll show us. And in District 2, which is won by Obama in 2008, this state poll show us is 11-point lead. And I will put the state in a lean margin because if we count on the average, this should be a lean district for Biden. And we finally come to the swing state, and let's take a look at Minnesota. It's at 8.9 points, but the margin is smaller than in June. And we'll put the state in a likely margin still. And we can check out at Iowa, the state that Trump won in 2016 by literally 10 points. It's only by 0.9 points by Biden in this state. So it would be a tilt state for the Democrat. And also Ohio is also the state that Trump won in 2016 by 8.9 points. That's 0.2 lead for Joe Biden. It should be also tilt state for Joe Biden here. And let's check out in Michigan, in the Midwest. In Michigan. Oh, an 8.3 lead for Joe Biden here. A very big lead, but back in March, this state is still undecidable with 2.8. It should be likely too. And let's check out in Pennsylvania. 7.1, just same scenario as Michigan. The Trump in 2016 won by 0. something. 7.1 now for Biden. It should be a likely state too. In Wisconsin, 7.3. Look at how big the lead Biden is lead right now. But back in March, in April, a pretty close race. And in Virginia, Clinton won in 2016 with her running mate Tim Kaine, the senator and a former governor there. Did help her a little bit much, but this time thing had difference, and we have 12.5 points lead for Joe Biden in the state of Virginia. It should also be a likely state, and we only have New Hampshire and some other state left. And let's check out in New Hampshire. A 10.7 is a pretty solid lead for now for Joe Biden right here. And we can check out in Florida. It's a really close race in this election in Florida. A 4.3 points lead for Joe Biden. Back in April and March is pretty close. It's still a lean state for Joe Biden. And let's check out in Georgia. Things getting much more worse for Trump. 0.9 point lead for Joe Biden here. This will be a tilt state for Joe Biden. And we have North Carolina. A 1.3 lead is much a bigger margin than Iowa and Ohio, but it should be also a tilt state for Biden here. And we have Maine left. And Maine, first district in the Maine all district should be safe for Biden. But if the election, I believe that this district will be likely, but in the poll show us it's really safe. And let's check out the second district of Maine. Second district, Trump had the 8-point lead. If you pull up the polls, this district should be a lean to a tilt for Donald Trump. And you can see the map based on the poll. But Joe Biden with a 374 electoral votes to Donald Trump 164. You can see how things go bigger for Joe Biden. We have states like Arizona, Florida, North Carolina, Georgia, Ohio, and Iowa flipped it to Joe Biden in this election. And Trump losing some of the suburbs voters in Kansas, Missouri, some other states, and also Texas. As you can see the map, how this election draws clear and Biden is winning now. We will check out the next electoral map where we have some updated polls, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.